Everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money.
Floyd Mayweather is bankrupt. At least that's what Logan Paul thinks. Logan hopped on the walkway to Fight Club show, and when he was asked about being paid, he was nothing short of honest.
I sit here with sadness today to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters, my brother, Floyd Money Mayweather.
Once hailed as the undisputed king of boxing and the face of money itself, Floyd Money Mayweather is now facing a storm that no punch can block. Despite raking in over $1.1 billion across his career and living a lifestyle most could only dream of, complete with Bugattis, private jets, and diamond-encrusted everything, new reports are painting a very different picture, one of debt, deception, and potential downfall.
Are you holding other fighters accountable, like Floyd, for example? I mean, Floyd doesn't even know his opponent's name, so are you holding him accountable to that? Floyd should still be fighting people that, you know, he at least people that know that his opponent's name and stuff. Are you saying the same thing?
Hold on.
From whispers of being held hostage in Dubai over unpaid jewelry, to being called out by Logan Paul for dodging millions in payments, the narrative is shifting from legendary boxer to lavish spender in trouble. And now, Stephen A. Smith, one of sports media's sharpest voices, is raising eyebrows with a claim that might shake the boxing world. Is Floyd Mayweather going bankrupt? Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Like this video and subscribe. 98% of you watch without subscribing, and it helps a ton. Done? Awesome. Now let's get into it. Is Floyd Mayweather broke? That's the question Stephen A. Smith didn't just hint at, he flat out posed it, igniting a firestorm across sports media and social platforms alike. For a man who once walked around with literal stacks of $100 bills in his designer duffel bag, the idea seems almost unthinkable. Almost. Because now whispers have turned into headlines, and the boxing legend known as Money Mayweather might be facing the one opponent he can't dodge: financial ruin.
Hold on. A couple things. Number one, last time I checked, Floyd retired. These are exhibitions that he had, but I don't even count these. Floyd will tell you that himself. When Floyd, I didn't count Conor McGregor as a boxing match. That was a damn exhibition. I ain't paying no attention to that with Floyd. No way on earth. Not at all. That's number one. Number two, here's where you have to give Floyd.
It's a dizzying twist in the story of a man who once earned $700 million from just 2 fights. The blockbuster bouts against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor. That kind of money isn't just wealth. It's dynastic, generational. It's the kind of payday most professional fighters, actors, and moguls will never see in a lifetime. So how, just a few years removed from the peak of his financial dominance, is Floyd now the subject of bankruptcy rumors? Where did all that money go? Who let the king of the ring get so close to the edge? At his peak, Floyd Mayweather wasn't just boxing royalty. He was the undisputed emperor of excess. Every corner of his life screamed luxury, from the massive multi-million-dollar mansions in Los Angeles and Las Vegas to his fleet of luxury vehicles tailored by city, white for Vegas, black for LA, silver for Miami. He flaunted 7-figure Bugattis, a $3.2 million Enzo, and casually showed off his $15 million garage collection, like most people show vacation photos. He didn't just own a private jet. He owned 2, one for himself and one for his entourage.
I know we're on television, Floyd, but I think it's necessary for me to say, damn.
Well, you know, we are on ESPN. These are sports cars. It's a sports network. This car costs $3.2 million. This Bugatti right here costs...
His watches cost more than some people's homes, and his closets were packed with custom designer fits most rappers could only dream about. But beyond the bling, Floyd's discipline was part of the myth. Stories of him jogging home from clubs in jeans, drinking water while others partied, and staying in fight shape even while retired, fueled a reputation not just for wealth, but for control. He was always 2 steps ahead, the master of his fate, the architect of his empire. But when you build a life on flash and flame, it only takes one gust of reality to blow it all down. In the world of high-profile investing, real estate is often seen as the ultimate flex. So when Floyd claimed he had purchased 62 apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan, eyebrows were raised, but not in disbelief. This was Floyd. This was the man who always made big moves.
Costs $1.6 million. You ain't seen these
I haven't seen these?
No.
Floyd, this is 7 cars, man. Silver, platinum, Miami, black LA, white Vegas.
Yeah, in New York, I got my drivers.
Posting to Instagram with all the swagger of a tycoon, he told fans, "All the buildings belong to me. No partners, all mine." But then came the twist. Business Insider dropped a bombshell investigation revealing there was no public record of such a purchase. In fact, the supposed $42 million deal he touted as his alone hadn't been finalized, and the ownership of the buildings hadn't changed at all. The claims didn't match reality, and suddenly Floyd's big-time real estate moment looked more like a staged performance than a portfolio expansion. What was once touted as his boldest business move began to unravel under scrutiny. Some suggested he may have only owned a share of a much larger investment. Others claimed the deal fell through entirely. Either way, the optics were clear. Floyd Mayweather had potentially fabricated or exaggerated the scale of a massive deal, leaving fans and financial insiders wondering why. Was it a publicity stunt? Or was it a desperate attempt to maintain an image as the money mogul, even if the numbers didn't back it up?
Floyd Money Mayweather up until recently didn't have any money. So Floyd is the highest earning athlete in his career, making over $1.1 billion. And after making a killing, he ended up retiring in 2017. However, he dug himself into a hole after making super lavish purchases like this LA mansion.
The cracks in the foundation began showing even before the real estate debacle. One of the earliest signs that Floyd's financial empire wasn't as rock solid as it appeared came in the form of a $22.2 million tax bill owed to the IRS. And here's the kicker. This wasn't some ancient debt from his early days. This was a fresh, high-profile financial obligation, so serious it played a direct role in dragging Floyd out of retirement. When he laced up his gloves again, this time to fight YouTuber Logan Paul in an exhibition match, many saw it as beneath the legacy of a fighter of his caliber. But for Floyd, it was a strategic move, not to cement his status in the sport, but to dig himself out of a hole.
It's unfortunate because, same Floyd Money Mayweather. Surely I was going to get my check fairly quickly, right? And that did happen, so I'm sure it'll come eventually, right? I realized, okay, I'm being strung along. This is a classic, hey buddy, you're the new guy in this industry.
The shift from championship bouts to spectacle-driven exhibitions wasn't just a rebranding, it was survival. Gone were the days of defending belts. Now he was defending his wallet. And speaking of Logan Paul, his post-fight comments may have done more damage to Floyd's reputation than any punch he threw in the ring. After their hyped-up exhibition event, Paul took to social media and interviews, dropping a public accusation that Mayweather still hadn't paid him the agreed-upon $2 to $3 million. At first, it sounded like just another headline-grabbing jab from a social media influencer looking for clout. But then Logan kept pushing, sarcastically offering to accept $10 million in Nigerian money, about $1,100, just to get something.
We're gonna puppeteer you however we want. Hop on for the ride and shut up. Instead of shutting up, I make fun of him on social media and let everyone know that he doesn't have any money. I kind of joke and I'm facetious and I point the finger at Floyd. Well, I don't know if it's his fault. Maybe a little bit, but something tells me Floyd doesn't control where the money goes.
What began as a joke quickly turned into a media moment, and suddenly fans weren't laughing anymore. If Mayweather really was holding back fighter payments, it painted a troubling picture. When confronted about the accusations, Floyd responded with vague statements about pay-per-view back-end delays and his ongoing earnings from past fights. "I'm still collecting checks from fights 7-8 years ago," he claimed, brushing off Logan's frustration as impatience. But the deflection didn't sit right. It wasn't denial, it was avoidance. And in the court of public opinion, that silence spoke volumes.
It was so bad that he actually owed $22.2 million to the IRS, which made him have to come out of retirement to pay that back. Like and follow for more.
When Floyd Mayweather steps into the ring, even for exhibitions, the boxing world watches. But lately, many are watching with concern, even disappointment. Critics and peers who once stood in awe of his flawless record and unprecedented earnings are now voicing skepticism, even mockery, as Floyd continues to fight in events that feel more like circus acts than sporting events. Oscar De La Hoya, once Mayweather's bitter rival in the ring, has now become one of his most vocal critics outside of it. After Mayweather's exhibition match against John Gotti III, a bout that ended in chaos and boos from the crowd, De La Hoya delivered a pointed, almost mournful critique. "Floyd, you're 50 years old, you're a legend, but you've got to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions," he said. There was no malice in his tone, just exasperation.
Floyd Mayweather fought another exhibition against Gotti last Saturday. A real the crowd booing in the arena at the end.
De La Hoya even admitted he had defended Floyd in past interviews, including on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharpe. But now, even he couldn't justify the spectacle. "I know life is hard. I know life is expensive, but come on, man. Put your legacy first." Then came Chael Sonnen, the ever-outspoken former UFC fighter and pundit who didn't mince words.
First off, he's never gotten $100 million for a fight. There's reports that he was the highest paid athlete over Christian Ronaldo.
You think it's...
I know it is.
So if you had to guess, what do you think's the most Floyd ever made in a fight?
Oh, I think that Floyd's, he's probably made about 60 million before in one night. But no, there's 100 million, 130 million. They just didn't have. I know that Floyd is still getting in there as recently as this weekend because he needed the money.
You think he blew through all of his money?
I'm claiming for you, he in his whole career has made about 100 million. People think he made 130 in a night. I'm sharing with you, he didn't. No boxer's ever made 130 million in one.
According to Sonnen, Floyd's comeback isn't some romantic tale of a fighter who can't hang up the gloves. It's a desperate scramble for cash. Floyd never made $100 million in a night. That's a myth, Sonnen stated. If he really had that kind of money, he wouldn't be climbing back in the ring for these sideshows. He's doing it because he needs the money. Even Joe Rogan, who has historically admired Floyd for his unparalleled discipline, couldn't ignore the contradictions. On the Joe Rogan Experience, he acknowledged Mayweather's legendary work ethic, the man who partied in clubs while sipping water, then jogged home in jeans just to keep training. But Rogan was quick to note the cognitive dissonance. How can the most disciplined fighter of a generation be surrounded by financial chaos? He was the only guy who could flash $1 million watch and not lose credibility, Rogan said. But now, it's looking shaky. Something doesn't add up.
The only person who's been able to do like that is Floyd Mayweather. He's the only guy who's been able to just be balling out of control, flashing money, $1 million watches, a fleet of super expensive cars, and still everybody up.
He does.
The voices are getting louder, and they're not coming from haters. They're coming from peers, pundits, and once loyal fans. Each jab isn't just about Floyd's fights, it's about his choices, and each one chips away at the myth of invincibility that once shielded Money Mayweather. Then came the bombshell that turned gossip into international intrigue. Was Floyd Mayweather being held hostage in Dubai over unpaid debts? The claim first surfaced from Gervonta "Tank" Davis, one of Mayweather's own proteges, who ignited the internet with a single comment. "Floyd over there hanging like a piece of rotisserie," he joked in a live stream, referring to Mayweather's prolonged stay in Dubai. But behind the humor was a serious accusation that Mayweather was stuck overseas because he owed big money to local jewelers and luxury vendors, people who don't exactly play games when it comes to collecting debts. Then came Rick Glazer, a veteran boxing insider and industry whistleblower, who confirmed the whispers weren't just smoke. Floyd is desperately trying to work things out with Dubai's court system, Glazer tweeted, backing up Tank's claims and throwing gas on the fire.
Let's talk about this picture of Mayweather in Dubai that's going viral. Here's the backstory. According to Gervonta Davis, Floyd Mayweather is being held hostage in Dubai over unpaid debts.
Fans even began jokingly commenting, "Blink twice if you're stuck there," under Mayweather's posts. Even more puzzling was the silence, or rather the strategic dodging, from Leonard Ellerby, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. When asked directly about the Dubai hostage allegations, Ellerby didn't deny it. He didn't clarify. He just brushed the question off and pivoted to hyping up Gervonta Davis's next fight. In PR, silence can be more deafening than denial, and in this case, it only deepened the mystery.
In my opinion, Tank is the best fighter in the entire world. And another terrific opportunity on June the 15th to go out there and show you guys why he's the top dog.
Was Mayweather really being held in Dubai until he repaid a massive debt or returned a stolen piece of jewelry? Why weren't his people clearing the air? Why wasn't Floyd himself stepping forward with a simple, "It's not true"? The lack of answers created a vacuum, one that filled fast with speculation, memes, and doubt. While the internet debated his whereabouts, Floyd took to Instagram, insisting he was on a world tour, living life, doing business, expanding the brand. He posted sun-soaked selfies, jet rides, and grainy videos of city skylines. But there was a catch. He didn't appear to have left Dubai. His grooming wasn't sharp. He looked stuck. And more importantly, he wasn't in control of the narrative, a rarity for a man who built his brand on always staying a step ahead. At the same time, TMZ ran a story claiming that Mayweather had handed out $30,000 in cash to homeless people outside an NBA game in LA. According to the report, he quietly approached 3 men, pulled cash from a backpack, and gifted each $10,000. It sounded like a well-timed redemption arc, Money Mayweather, the generous king, giving back to the people. But here's the problem. There were no photos, no video, and Floyd was still posting from Dubai around the same time. Was it a delayed report, a planted story, or a total fabrication?
Boxing agent Rick Glazer confirmed Davis's comments by saying Floyd is desperately trying to work things out with Dubai's court system And that's why my comment, blink twice if you're stuck there, on this post is getting a lot of attention.
For someone who's lived life in front of a camera lens, the lack of proof was suspicious. Was this damage control? Or was it deception? A crafted illusion to distract from the Dubai debacle and keep the brand afloat? Stephen A. Smith posed the question that now feels eerily prophetic. Legacy or money? What does Floyd Mayweather care about more? Once upon a time, that answer was clear. Floyd was legacy. He was the undefeated champion, the businessman who bought himself out of top rank, the fighter who played chess while everyone else swung wildly. He was the blueprint. But now, the man who called himself the best ever is doing Instagram fights for cash and allegedly being held overseas for unpaid debts. His once mythical wealth is being challenged by lawsuits, unpaid purses, tax problems, and a growing chorus of critics. The brand is still loud, but the foundation is shaky. For younger fighters watching Floyd's saga unfold, the caution is clear. Success without stewardship is just a slow fall in disguise. Floyd Mayweather may still own the nickname money, but the real currency he's losing is respect. So now we circle back to the question that started it all. Is Floyd Mayweather broke? Or is this all just smoke and mirrors? A drama carefully engineered by the master of spectacle himself? Is this the unraveling of an empire? Or just another twist in the legend of a man who always bet on himself? And won? We may not have the final answer, but one thing's certain. This story isn't over. More lawsuits are surfacing, more unpaid debts are being whispered about, more exhibition matches are quietly being lined up in far-flung countries where cameras are harder to track. And the truth? It might be buried somewhere between a missing Bugatti, a vanished jewelry piece, and a Dubai court file. So stay tuned, because when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, the fight never really ends, and the next round might be his toughest yet. Alright guys, for the best updates on boxing news, moments, events, and actions, subscribe to Knockout Updates and turn on notifications to never miss out on quality content, and check out our other videos. Until next time, peace out.